Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. In the last part, we did a little bit of touring around this island, spent some time with Medion, and now it's time for Ether to Ether. Also, we got our first quest current, so... Tell me, Arya, in the course of watching me, have you learned auto value? Dynamis. Dynamis seems promising. We also learned about Dynamis. Dynamis, you say? Curious that such an obscure phenomenon should be of interest to you. Chief Hermes, what good fortune to find you here. Is something the matter? Yakion, I'm afraid it's done it again. No sooner did we release one for observation, and it set upon the nearby Okiopets, slaughtering them. Was the creature hungry, or somehow provoked? I just fed them myself, and the Okiopets were keeping a wide berth. It is in the nature of the Yakion that is to blame, their innate viciousness. Temperament aside, is an outstanding creation, perfect in form and function. Though it may not be suitable for release, I have no doubt that the Bureau will accept its conception for preservation. In any case, there's no point in postponing the inevitable. Doros will revert them all once the paperwork is in order. Where's the scene of the incident? Just off the path to the 12 Wonders, and as you make your way, you should see it to the left. I don't know if Doros is still there, however. Hermes! Wait! If this is part of his work, then I would observe. We follow. Alright, well, let's head. Search for Hermes, I guess? Also search for Ether Currents, but something, search for Hermes. 360 Northwest, that's that one back up there. Hi, Okiopet. Speaking of those things, I do not know the S-rank area, or the hunt spawn points in this area nearly as well as I do elsewhere. But I do believe there's one right over that away. And yes, I know I'm like walking right past where we're supposed to go, but... No free south. There it is. Alright, anyway, back up we go. Yeah, I do semi-recall there being like one right in this area for a hunt spawn point. Oh, hello. The lacerations and burns are unmistakable. The Yakion was indeed responsible. The creature is nowhere to be seen. Doros must have taken it away. The man makes his base at the 12 Wonders. I shall go and seek him out there. And Silk and I will search the area for good measure, just to make sure the Yakion did not escape. My thanks. Let's meet at the 12 Wonders when you have finished. I will go on ahead. Please follow with Arya. Come! It's down this path and over the bridge. Alright. 279 west. Gonna be over there. Now I do remember there's a hunt spawn point like right around there because it was there the first time I ever came to Elpis. That was fun. I think it was just a B rank, but still. Yeah, it's like right among these trees here. Oh no, I think it was an A rank. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was an A rank. I literally hear it. What the heck? she is. There it is! The 12 Wonders! Hermes is looking for Doros. Let's look for Doros too! He's a man with long blonde hair. I think... Oh no, when I see him! Medion is now accompanying you! Blah, 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 blah. No conversation points. I have another current nearby. Alright, You're with Medion. I assume you're on an errand for Hermes. What can I do for you? Sorry, wrong person. We're looking for Doros. I see. We do have similar hair, so people often mistake us from afar. I hope you find them soon. I'm actually gonna stop by the mender here real quick. Kinda needed to repair. Once I get back and record today's results, I should finally be able to put that report to bed. Not Doros! His hair is long, but the color is wrong. Mine. Right over here. Doros! That's Doros! Well, no, it isn't Medion. What brings you here? Ah, I thought I heard familiar voices. I didn't realize you two had decided to help me search for Doros. Thank you. You're in charge of the Yakions, I believe? Where are they now? Out in the fields and restraints, frenzied as they were, I could have well returned them to Catesis. Once I've submitted my report, I'll see them reverted without delay. It's as he says. The beasts are indeed quite ferocious. You're one of the 14! What brings you here? Nothing you need to concern yourself with, as you were. We've heard the news. The Yakion slaughtered the Okiopets. As the observer in charge, you are of the opinion that they are not fit to be released. I am. Their abnormal aggression and exceptional strength makes for a highly problematic combination. It matters not where they are released. Lycaons... It's been an L this entire time. Lycaons would threaten other species and upset the natural order. Gosh dang it! Could it be that the specimens observed are an outlier? Highly unlikely. We've created a good many of them. All exhibit the same tendencies. Even when we used Kairos to begin with a fresh slate, their behavior was unchanged. Kairos? A memory reconfiguration system. The chief himself created it. Allows us to erase our altered memories, that we may observe creations in different environmental conditions without needing to remake them from scratch. Quite impressive and potentially dangerous. Depending on the intensity of the etheric emissions, Pastro may wish to have words with you. Rest assured, I've kept all values within prescribed limits. To prevent misuse, its applications are limited to those authorized by the Chief Overseer. Do not misunderstand. To manipulate subject memories is an intrusive act I deeply abhor. It is still preferable to execution. Come now, Chief. Let's not be so melodramatic. What was born of ether is simply being reduced to its original state. I know the distinctions concern you, but we mustn't lose sight of the bigger picture. Making rational choices for the sake of a more prosperous star. If creation cannot be properly studied without the aid of even with the aid of Kairos, we remake it. If a creation is deemed a detrimental existence, we unmake it. 'Tis all for the greater good. None question the necessity of such routine processes. I understand these things, I do. I would never think to unleash a clear and undeniable threat unto the world. Yet insignificant though their individual lives may be next to all creation, it is all the Lycaons have. Before we seal their fates, we owe it to these beings to exhaust all options, to ensure that nothing has been overlooked. If you insist, let me provide you with a full report, that we may take it from there. Would it be possible for us to attend the discussion? Then Miss Locke may better carry out his duties. By all means. Pray show into the meeting room. beings are just things, to be used and controlled, like magic. That's what Hermes told me once. A sentimental gift. I fear this discussion may take a while, during which time... Medium, are you feeling unwell? It's not me, Hermes. It's you. I won't go to the meeting. I'll stay with Arya. Oh, though I am to impose, may I leave Medion in your care again? Yeah, I got this. I'm in your debt, if you'll excuse me. Alright, sorry, there's like something over my headphones and it's like bugging my ear for some reason. Alright, anyway. Can you help me with something, Arya? The meeting will makes Hermes sad. I want to cheer him up with a flower. Hermes likes flowers the most of all the creations in Elpis. Most creations are expected to be interesting, or beautiful, or strong, better in some way. But flowers are different. They're designed to suit our emotions, what we feel and want to convey. Hermes likes that. I can't make flowers, so I'll search for one. I want you to search with me. Let's start here, at the 12 Wonders. Medion is now accompanying you. With no conversation points. Cool. Alright, let's examine some flowers here in the 12 Wonders. Also, hold up, I forgot to do something. The very important part. It's just an ether right here. Vibrant purple flowers, bigger than your hands, adorn the tree. Ooh, so big and bright. I love them. But they might be too bright. You have to think of the recipient. That's what Hermes said. Alright. So we'll examine this tree. A tall slender tree rises before you. You crane your neck to look for flowers. No flowers. If there were apples, we could have covered them in syrup. It's outside next. Don't worry, we won't wander far. Alright. No. And opening the map, I jumped. Because, you know, things I'm just doing. Flower bed. An array of beautiful flowers grow in the bed. Their mixed colors forming a pattern. And these may be better for Hermes, but they're hedged in. That means we shouldn't touch them. They're either under observation or poisonous. Any other place should be fine, though. Let's keep looking. Hedged in, you say? Boom. Help, I'm poisoned. Or something. Familiar plants. Wait a second, that's one of those things. Sitting on a tall, thin stalk, the other-shaped flowers mesmerize me in its undulations. Oh, a conian! A flower that can move! Hermes wasn't looking at shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe? But you're good, Arya, at spotting flowers. We'll find something soon. Will we find an ether current soon? 129 West. Junction. Hold up, hold up. Despite nothing promising nearby, I best common looking grass with some few tiny flowers. Nothing around here. Ah! Over there, Arya, something big! Huge! I mean, right where this Marlboro is chilling. Sorry, whatever you're gonna call it. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me go down and around, and there would be the buddy I was talking about just a few minutes ago. This is Shockmaw, one of the B ranks of Elpis. It was a B rank. Yeah, so that's Shockmaw. Like I said, it is one of the fun. So there's one of the points. I think I have seen A rank out of their point too, so. In any case. Northeast? What? terrible stench reminiscent of sodden old boots pervades the air. Without a doubt, the culprit is the marble-like creature before you. It's an Adonis! The thing around its mouth looks like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on its head. When Hermes inspected it, it swallowed him up. He didn't leave his room for days. What do you think, Arya? Would you like it? I'd rather not go near that thing. Oh, so not this one either. Funny good flower. And it's harder than I thought. I'm sorry, Arya. Could we stretch a little more? Maybe as far as the fields over there. I'll pick something after that. I promise. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, hey. Boom. Lush fields. Lush green fields stretch out before you, ending where the sky begins. Ah, there's nothing! A shiny thing over there. What could it be? Shiny object. Wait a second. It's Elpis! Oh, Elpis flowers. They're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're intellecties. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. That's only for Hermes though. For others, they're always white and bright. Truly? The flower was dark in your home? Then do you have it too? Dark emotion. I have known the pain and sorrow of loss. I see. Hermes has known the same. The feeling that a part of you is gone again and again, but no one notices. Please, Arya, won't you lend it to me? Your pain and sorrow. I want you to make the flower dark in front of Hermes. He has been in a dark place since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't there alone, that others are sad too. Truly, you'll do it? Thank you, Arya. Thank you. It means more to me than I can say. I can't wait to see how Hermes reacts. Let's go back and fetch him. Alright, well, let's go back and have another current side quest pop up. Alright. Where are you? Where are you? You and the Iloris. Is that a Gala cat? That is 100% a Gala cat. My, what a familiar essence you have. Like that of a familiar, if you're familiar with the concept. Oh, just my little joke. Arya, was it? I'm Hippotho. Mew, mew! Yes, we're getting to that. Arya, say hello to our familiar friend here. She's an Iloris. Ilori are one of our newest creations, highly attuned to abnormalities in their environment. For sign of danger, they'll sound the alarm. Which I mean, mew loudly. Though we do our best to observe all of our creations, Elpis is simply too large to maintain a constant vigil over each and every temperamental species. More efficient means of detecting conflict between creatures was in order. Thus, I have taken this Iloris under my wing to further develop her capabilities in this area. And she does enjoy our little walks. This morning, we are testing her ability to pinpoint sites of conflict. Would you like to observe? Simply tell her that her task has begun. She'll do her utmost to locate disruptive creatures. Please do subdue any unruly subjects once you found them. We can have beasts running amok. Meow, meow! All the Iloris and try not to fall behind. Meow! This is me totally going to speak with Medion. Ahem. Anything else? 314 north. Yeah, okay, it's not in here. La 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 la. This is so much fun just following a Gala cat. Nope. What? Why are you going right by that enemy? Oh, because you're going right over there. I see. Lures allures you. Two new red creatures are facing one another down and looks at you expectantly. Yeah. Flew off. Yes, I am Miss Lacey. Okay. Yes. She seems quite content, but in no sense, what were the results? I expected. Well done, little one. Magnificent creatures, the both of you. It's a shame we cannot give you a pair of tiny wings and a bell too, but it's against protocol, I'm afraid. The Elori are enchanted with theirs at birth, so they are able to acclimate properly. I'm certain you have your own unique potential to rise to, however. In fact, why not join us for another phase of testing? How about some other time? I should really be getting back to Medion. It seems they're still talking. Let's wait until they finished.
Hermes!
Oh. You were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
Yes. We've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteon company. Emmett Selk and Hithildeus have already retired to their rooms. There is room for you too, if you would follow me.
Wait! I want to show you something first.
Elpis flowers?
Go on. You're not the only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Meteon has shared much with you. May we talk a moment? I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place. And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodaeus said when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought. Some scarcely born into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished. We make an effort to spare them the pain, but they sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear, and it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Not amiss. And always, always the blossoms shine pure and white. A contradiction so blatant I could scream, want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? Then I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? And I am filled with dread. But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep. I won't ask what you thought as you kneeled beside the Elpis, or if you only did it at Meteion's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort.
Oh, I could tell you all about suffering.
Lest you misunderstand, I derive no pleasure from your pain. It's just the fact that you are still here in spite of your suffering gives me heart. The stars in the heavens. Know you what they are? Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteion and her sisters. Aye, sisters. She has a great many of them, and they have already departed on their journey, traveling to one star and then the next in search of life. As one might expect, exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus far I've naught to show for it. But I have faith that we will make some manner of discovery ere long. And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness. It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow. Come, Meteion. Let's head back.
All right.
Alright, verdict and execution. And all too brief interlude, perhaps, but it is time to attend to my next task. As Emmetuk and Hythlodaeus are aware, we reached a verdict regarding the fate of the Lycaons. 7 were created for observation. And all 7 must be unmade. Duros has followed the correct protocols, and his chief overseer can find no fault in his judgment. The Lycaons would destruct the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition to Bureau the Architect to have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hythlodaeus has pledged to support me in this endeavor. Yet whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lycaons have served their purpose. Duros has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. We'll join him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion to this study. If you are resolved, then we have but to accompany you. Of course, let's be off then. We return to the main aisle. And yes, I see all those extra side quests that just happened to appear. Back over the bridge, yada yada yada. I think we got all the currents on that island. They all like what, 2? Loros, are you hurt? What happened here? They caught me off guard. I had them bound with ethereal shackles, but they became frenzied even more so than usual and broke free. Sybil stopped 4. The other 3 escaped. And there goes the weather. I see them to have taken to the air above the 12 Wonders. Yeah, the last is up ahead, lurking in the fields. You and Arya handle that one. Pair in the sky, you can leave to me. If this is how it must end, then so be it. I will render assistance to Emmetuk, unneeded though it is. Meteion, you are to stay here with Duros. But Hermes! The Lycaons must be reverted. I would spare you their pain and mine. This is my burden, not yours. If you're intent on helping, then please follow my lead. Hello. Right over there. We all good? We are all good. Appreciate your help and lament that it is necessary. There it is, our quarry. Within striking distance at present, but it feels threatened. If it feels threatened, it may well flee beyond our reach. Here's my plan. You will approach slowly, in full view, and draw the Lycaon's attention. I warn you, its abilities are as fiery as its temperament, and once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of fire. Fear not, by my measure, you are more than equal to this house. We'll stand the onslaught for a few brief moments, and that will give me time to catch it unawares. Ready? Well, let's begin. Alright. Orb of fire? Yeah. Whatever. Easy peasy. Speaking of maybe not easy peasy, trying to fire me. Okay. More fiery spears. Not a problem. One. Excuse me. Uncalled for. Forget my rotation. That's cool. What else is new? Alright. We good? Alright, stand in front of it. Oh, okay. Keep its attention.
Now. Oh. Forgive me. Please, forgive me. May you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas. Be not forgotten, in concept endure, to reclaim form and one day live again. Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again, if that be your desire. Hate, if that be your want. We are worthy. But leave your suffering behind. Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high. Fly free.
Join the convocation, Hermes. You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing. Tell me, do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Fandaniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts, I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me. If you would still consider me in spite of everything, I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodaeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you seek.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time? Aye.
Every time. Sorry, it's the wrong one. The other Lycaons have been taken care of. The incident is resolved, and life in Elpis continues as normal, or ends, as the case may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. Yet never has the departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such torment? Travelers at the crossroads. Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Brother Pragmatus, allow me to remain your humble guide. What of you, Arya? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful! Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you follow me, we will first head back towards Anagnoris's. All the way back, so I can... It's close enough. It's closer to that side than this side. Gosh dang it. Make him do it this way. From here, we follow the path northwards to Notonius. And we also get to have a discussion! There will find one of the Naos which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. For some travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need to use the device together once, and henceforth you will have leave to use it freely. Shall we? Speaking of A-ranks, this is Petalodus. This is one of the A-ranks of Elpis. This is that one I saw down there one time. So here's another spawn point. And yeah. That is the model from one of the bosses from one of the Uniters, Academia, I believe. Yeah. I think so. Anyway. 114 West. Is it on this island? It's a little heavily regret if it is. And I continue forward. It is not on this island. Okay. Here we are, Nodoneus. This Neus will take us to Calimelius Zephyros, the western island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Step this way, we can soon admire the view from above.
I present to you Calamelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then. Let's begin by... Well, well. An Arrhaeus. How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept.
We literally just saw one.
At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact. And then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
Cool subtitles there, by the way, game.
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Venat, that we should meet you here.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Venat is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is she, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are? I say, have you perchance come from the future? I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you.
Your imagination?
Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
Does it protect you from enthrallment by primals by any chance?
Primals, you say? But I'm not familiar with such beings. But if they enthrall by warping the balance of ether, then yes, the magic would afford you a measure of protection. I gather from your question that you are not ignorant to its presence.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting! I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest. Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos. We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to, and quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
Oh, that's a combat noise I spy. My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept engraved crystal, and the quick-fingered Aureus which made off with it. An Aureus, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by that business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its ethereal trail? That would, of course, lead us only to the Aureus. There is no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you seek. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor, just in case. Can I ask you to join the search? I'd appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the lands to the west of here. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading to Poiton Oikos. Let's meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. Alright. To the west. That's So by the way, that's the Coral Regina model, special fate in Forlands. Dravanian Forlands. It's just a regular enemy, you know. 47 West. I wanna say it's back here somewhere. Yeah, it's right there. So... Oh, actually made that. Amazing. I feel like this is somewhere... Yeah, Concept Crystal. Hello. Alright. After Poitin Ultros. If there's not another current. Meh. We're out of the way. I think. It is definitely out of the way now than way over here, but hey. Keep seeing all these big enemies and I'm like, oh yeah, Elpis is the land of big enemies! Ugh. Our last searcher returns. I'm afraid the Aureus no longer had the crystal, nor was able to find it as I followed in its wake. Don't suppose you fared any better. Obviously I did. I mean, look at me. Crystal, well done. Wonderful. Now I can focus on your tail without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? Yes. Traveling and searching go hand in hand. You travel often then. It seems we have something in common. Long ago, when I held the seat of Azem, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Opus, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, and my opinion sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is the way one thing leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? Alright, yeah, let's do it. A past not yet come to pass. Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I return this stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have tended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so I can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Let's go ahead and grab the good old aetherite, which is just right over here. Get that real quick. Northeast. How far northeast is? I mean, it's 157, but I've already committed to finding it. Up here? Yeah. How are we doing on currents, by the way? Three to go already? Jeez. Doesn't feel like we've done that many, but I guess we have. Southeast. Alright, well, we'll probably head back out there. Brett! Right. And where are you? Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourself at home while I put on some tea. You're too far from the table. Grr.
A wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
A calamity called the Final Days has befallen the world.
Why don't you start from the beginning? Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Venat?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hydaelyn? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future, whence she came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True. I note also that Hydaelyn did not specify a point in time to which she must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any. But we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hydaelyn is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable? Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emmett Selk! Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
Dynamis is key to all of this.
Ah yes, the energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of Dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteon? Yes, I believe this warrants further investigation. With that settled, it is time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. And suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If Emmet Selk is the man Azem described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
shall we begin our investigations then? I am acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. But the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. I suggest we fall back on our tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Meteon. I have a good idea of where we might begin. Or, you know, we'll find out about Hermes and speak with Venat some more next time. Because it's getting a little late. And, you know, getting a little on in the time. And yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so, just gonna say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing if you really enjoyed it. Consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps to keep being content like this and more. You can find links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!